Feeling depressed is like a dark cloud that encompasses you and affects your ability to think clearly. It makes you feel isolated and overwhelmed. It changes the brain into a state of addiction, whereas you are in this deep, dark place and you don't know how to get out of it. And sometimes you may not even feel like getting out of it. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. Natural remedies have been used by people for thousands of years, and they stayed with us because they work. In fact, medical doctors now are being trained in what's called functional medicine. This is simply natural medicine that's been around for thousands of years. Depression is dark and low energy. It's basically stuck energy that keeps you down, and then you do things that keep you there. Oftentimes it leads to alcoholism or drug addiction, and then that feeds the I don't feel good about myself and drives you back down into the depression, and it becomes this horrible cycle of events, and it seems like there's no way out. There are lots of options out there. There are wonderful books, there's videos, there's people, there are techniques that can help people, and the thing is to just get that motion going. Depression affects so many of us. If you're the one who is depressed, there are people who care about you, and it's affecting them because they feel like in a place where they don't know what to do. They don't know how to help you. They are stuck as you are stuck. So hopefully this video will give you some techniques on how to raise above that feeling of being stuck. If you're watching this because someone you care about is struggling with depression, the first step is to take care of yourself. First, you have to put the mask on before you help others, like they say in the plane. You need to make sure you're getting the sleep you need, that you're getting the nutrition your body needs, and then you can be supportive of somebody else. Eating healthy foods, whether it's cooked foods or a quick nutritional packed smoothie, these are all things that are going to raise your level of being able to handle the depressed person. Sometimes food isn't enough. I know it's food be thy medicine, but oftentimes food isn't enough, and you need to make sure that you're getting some good supplements. Vitamin D, there's tons of information about the lack of vitamin D and depression. There's it's actually called our sunlight vitamin, and there are people that are affected by seasonal darkness, and it feeds into that depressed feeling. So make sure you're getting D in your supplements. Make sure you're getting B vitamins. B vitamins actually support the nervous system and are very, very important, and they're water soluble, so they get washed out and they get used up through stress. So if you like to cook, making a lovely bone broth for somebody, bringing it over in a soup form is an act of kindness that is going to help them raise their level. Remember, we're always trying to move that energy, get it out of that low depressed state into something higher and higher until they can be mindful and do things for themselves. If you are visiting somebody who's depressed, remember they're at this very low energy level. And if you come in and you're this high vibrant person and yada yada and how wonderful your life is, and that it only makes that person drop lower. So try to first be mindful of what they're going through, and even mindful of the fact that they probably do not want to be there. They do not like this feeling. They just don't know how to move above it. Using some essential oils or doing some flower essence remedies with them is going to help to raise that level so that maybe they're more accepting to other things. Using essential oils is very easy. Something as wonderful as pink grapefruit. This can raise their vibrations. Citrus oils are very light, and they help to lift the mood. And you can use it in a wonderful diffuser like this one. This is a steam diffuser. It lets off cold steam. You can use it in a spritzer. You can use it in, we have these plug-in things that you apply the essential oil to the pad, and then it can diffuse for a while. There's a lot of different ways to use the essential oil and help that person to raise the vibrations, and then they feel more apt to or more open to other suggestions in helping them. Go and offer to take a walk with them. Get them moving. The thing is depressed people are stuck. Remember, they're in this stuck position, and movement is important. And so Tai Chi, yoga, breathing. Breathing is movement. So take some yoga classes with them. Tell them, let's just breathe together. Listen to some upbeat music. Oftentimes, people who are depressed will listen to this very dark music that keeps them in their depressed state. They will watch violent movies that keep them, the world is terrible, and it keeps feeding into their depression. So showing compassion is so much better than telling the person, come on, get on with it, move along. Depressed people often beat themselves up. They don't need you to get them, get a stiff upper lip and just get on with it. It's time to move on. If somebody's been grieving for what you think is a longer period of time than that is acceptable, that's, grieving takes time. And not everybody grieves at the same level. Sometimes people grieve for years. The thing is that if they are not making an effort to move from that grief, then they need intervention. They need something that helps them to move along with this. And this class is one of those things that help people understand that there are a lot of things you can do to help somebody, feeding them properly, giving them essential oils, making sure they're taking some supplements. These are all things that you can do for them. A depressed person must want to be out of that state. They can't do it for other people. They have to do it for themselves. They have to know that they have value and talents and that they're needed in this world. If you are living with a depressed person and it brings you down, one of the essential oils I found to be extremely helpful is called bergamot. Now, bergamot is also found in Earl Grey tea, and so you can get it that way. But the essential oil is intensely concentrated, and I don't feel that internal use is a good idea. What I like to do is make a roll-on out of the bergamot essential oil by filling the vial of the roll-on with aloe vera or massage oil, and then adding 10 drops of the bergamot, and then rolling it between your hands, turning it, rolling it, and the warmth of your hands will help to move that oil through the base. Then you take it and you rub it along the sternum, and then after you roll on the bergamot solution, then rub it and then do this and breathe it in. Bergamot is wonderful for helping you to stop the influence of negative thoughts and negative energy. So it is like a shield that protects you. Another thing I found, and I've talked about these before, are the flower essences of Be Courageous and Find Strength. Now, the difference between the two is I use Be Courageous when there's a high level of anxiety, but it also is great for those people who struggle with self-doubt. Self-doubt is often one of the first things that get you into a depressed state because you feel like you can't make a decision, so you just get stuck in your lack of decision making. Then Find Strength is one that I find to be very helpful for people who not only struggle with a lack of self-confidence, but they're depressed, and when they are tired of being in that depressed state, they feel anger is the appropriate emotion to take, and it is due to their lack of self-esteem that they push out with anger. It's a form of frustration, but Find Strength promotes courage, inspiration, and a healthy sense of self-esteem. And so these are great for people who lash out in anger. They're filled with self-guilt, depression, hopelessness, impatience, worry, and they've had some considerable trauma that have occurred. The other thing I like for trauma is distress remedy. Now, I've talked about distress remedy in many instances. I feel it's something that should be in everybody's new medical chest, medicine chest, because it is so useful for children, for elderly, for people on medications. It doesn't matter. Pregnant women, it's a wonderful tool to help you overcome trauma. And trauma happens. It isn't something that's planned. And so having it available is really, really important. And I think it's so much more important. My medicine chest has no aspirin, no ibuprofen. It's full of flower essence remedies, essential oils, the things that I've made up that have helped me through different things, through cuts and bruises and things like that. And I teach it, I preach it, and I live it. It's, I feel, the way to move in this world with confidence and knowing your purpose and expressing why God has put you here on this earth. There are reasons, and finding that reason and feeling fulfilled is why you want to help somebody who is depressed. They have a purpose, and they need to find that purpose so that they can find joy again. And one of the things that I talked about in my herbalogram yesterday was called avoidance behavior. And avoidance behavior is simply substituting something for what you really should be doing. Herbalogram is an electronic newsletter I send out every week, and It has a variety of subjects, and they're listed on my website. If you're interested, you can go a year's worth of newsletters on bornforhealth.com and just check out where it says here the newsletter and egram, and you can read about what I've said about avoidance behavior. It's when you're disappointed in your behavior, your life, your job, or your relationships, it can be hard to figure out what the next step is. And the first step is to be kind to yourself. The second step is to be grateful for everything around you. A lot of times we lose sight. We're focused on this one disappointment, and we lose sight of all of the other things we have in our life. And those should be at the forefront and not the disappointment. But for some human reason, we're stuck thinking about this terrible thing that happened. We didn't get the promotion, we didn't get the raise, we didn't get yada, 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 and yet we drive in a very nice, comfortable car, we live in a good home, it has heat, we eat good food. All of these things seem to not matter until we lose them. And then they become the disappointment that we're focused on. So change your focus, and like Dr. Amen says, change your brain and change your life. So make a list of all the things that you have to be grateful for. Call it your gratitude list and keep adding to it and reading it daily, because a lot of times we lose sight of those things, and we want to make sure they're at the forefront of what we are thinking about. Keep it handy. If you feel, oh, so what? So what? I have great children. So what? They do good in school. So what? So what is, it just doesn't seem to resonate with you. Then take some distress remedy, take a deep breath, read them over again, because they are things to be grateful for. So if you feel that you're resonating with what I'm saying, send me some hearts and little likes and comments. And if you have questions that are more personal, you can send me an email, drmary@bornforhealth.com, and I will get back with you. I will send you some resources or some advice, and it may be just the next step that you need to keep going. Getting the proper sleep is a huge benefit and helper in reducing depression. The best sleep is between 9:30 and 2 a.m. That's a circadian rhythm. It works with the oceans, the sun, and the moon, and all these phases. We're humans, we're living matter, and we are in tune to that. And when you wait until 2 or 3 in the morning to fall asleep, or you're having difficulty falling asleep, then that affects your ability to key into these elements that support life. If you're having difficulty sleeping, try melatonin. Try counting your blessings. Forget the sheep, count your blessings. Think of all the things that are wonderful in life and try to block out these negative feelings. Raise your vibratory rate. Look at what you've eaten. If you've eaten some foods that are not healthy for you, that may be the reason. Don't have a TV blaring while you're trying to sleep. There's lots of information about Wi-Fi and how it interrupts sleep patterns. So if you're having trouble sleeping and you don't know which way to turn, then send me an email. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can find some direction as far as that goes. So when we sleep deeply, our brain kind of shrinks, just like 50%. And the liquid that surrounds the brain actually washes it. So it's like sending your brain through the car wash. And if you don't get enough sleep, that cleansing doesn't happen. So you're stuck with all these toxins in your brain, which may be contributing to depression. So make sure that you're getting the sleep you need. There are also parasites that make us feel anxious and depressed, and some people need to do a parasite cleanse, and I've got information on that on my website as well, called ParaCleanse. There was a study done by the University of Michigan about cat feces, and I posted that on my Health Home page. So if you're interested in looking at that and how you can protect yourself against pet parasites, we give our pets stuff to deworm and that. We don't even think about ourselves. So sometimes journaling is helpful. Some people will talk into a device and say what they're feeling. Other people like the act of writing things out. But it is important to ask yourself, why am I thinking this way? What's happening that is in my thoughts? Your thoughts become the feelings that you focus on, and the feelings that you focus on become your behaviors. If you don't like your behavior or you don't like your feelings, then change your thoughts. That's as simple as it gets. And there are actually tools on the internet that help you work through this process. Cognitive behavior therapy is one of the things that it makes you think about why you're thinking the way you're thinking, and is it your thought or is it somebody else's thought? You are not the person that somebody else thought you were. You are you, and all your talents and all your goodness is still within you, and it is up to you to unlock all that goodness. And you aren't going to do it with blame and guilt and shame. It is going to be done with compassion and joy and kindness and love. And the more you change your belief system as far as I'm such and such, to I am such and such, and I have value. I'm here for a reason. Let me know that reason. If you find yourself depressed, pick up a book, watch a video, pick up the Bible, spray some essential oils, eat better, get some good sleep, exercise, but for heaven's sake, take an action step. You choose it. Here's some things about self-care. I have found that people who get up in the morning, wash their face, they don't necessarily have to take a shower right away or whatever, but they splash water on their face, they clean up their environment. In other words, they make their bed, they pick up dishes, put them away. Those people are not depressed people. Depressed people leave junk everywhere. They lose the desire to take care of themselves. They'll go days without brushing their teeth. Pay attention to self-care. I'm not saying you have to spend hours grooming, but for heaven's sakes, 10, 15 minutes on brushing your teeth, washing your face, changing your clothes. Once in a while, staying in your jammies all day, not a big thing. If you're not feeling good, okay. But if it seems to be a daily routine with you, that's a problem. You need to get up, get going, change your environment, change the music, spray some essential oils, do something. Make a plan of what you're going to do today to improve your mood. Low energy is depressing the immune system, and that allows for sickness. So you want to raise your energy, and I don't mean with an energy drink, I mean with good food and all the other things that you know are good for you. It will help you to move above depression. Your environment can reflect how you feel about yourself and whether you're worthy of a healthy environment and health yourself. Life can be a beautiful thing if you let it be. If you need some resources, please email me and I will do my best to steer you in a direction that will help you. The thing that is most important is that you must want this for yourself. Nobody can want it for you. You cannot be successful doing this for others. You deserve to be happy. Let me repeat that. You deserve to be happy. So let's do some action steps. Read or watch something that inspires you every single day. Spend some time meditating on good thoughts and good health. Be mindful of self-care and your environment. Share what you've learned. Recommend these videos to your friends and other people so that they too can know that there is a better way that doesn't harm the environment or them. Keep focusing on gratitude. Be thankful for people and gifts of nature, the flowers, and all the joy around you. Thank you for viewing. Until next time, this is Dr. Mary for the Health of It.